Yep.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So the public hearings on ordinances 9274 and 9276 are now open. A public hearing is a meeting that provides the opportunity for public discussion regarding ordinances and other matters pending before City Council. Interested parties may express their views and submit evidence supporting those views at this public hearing. The information shared will become part of the city's permanent record and may be used by the members of City Council in deciding whether or not to adopt the ordinance. Today, there are two ordinances at issue. The first is Ordinance 9274, which establishes interim zoning of IE, innovation and employment zoning for the approximately 46.172 acres of land located at 12698 and 12732 Newton Road, and recently annexed to the city as petitioned for by Robert W. Maurer as agent and petitioner. So there are four parts to our public hearings. The first is a staff report. The second is petitioner testimony. The third is public testimony. And the fourth is discussion by members of City Council. So to start, we will receive the staff report on Ordinance 9274 from Planning Director Heather Saylor.
Thank you.
Good evening. Planning Commission did hear this request back at their meeting on April 2nd of this year, and they did recommend interim zoning of IE, innovation and employment, for the 46.72 acres along Newton Road, which currently has two houses on the property, and annexation is required based on their request for city utilities. In this case, they would like water that they've requested. They already had electric. I gave you a copy of the innovation employment zone, their standards, what's permitted uses or conditional uses, and then a map of the property so you can see the adjoining zoning. In Center Township, it's zoned A1 agricultural, and Planning Commission decided that the IE innovation and employment would meet our future land use map, and then it does match property to zoning to the south and to the north. One parcel up actually would be the Abbott property. So that is it, unless you have any specific questions.
Greg or Jeff, do you guys have questions for Heather?
I do not.
Thanks, Heather. Next, we will receive any testimony from the petitioner. I don't believe anyone is here representing petitioner. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the committee at this time? Jody, did we receive any correspondence?
We did not.
Okay. So Greg or Jeff, any comments? We have an opportunity to discuss now if we'd like.
No, I think the Planning Commission's recommendation is reasonable.
Would agree.
Okay. Well, that will conclude part one of today's two public hearings. The second is Ordinance 9276 is at issue, which establishes interim zoning of IE, innovation and employment zoning for the approximately 11.29 acres of land located north of 12698 and 12732 Newton Road, and recently annexed to the city as petitioned for by Robert W. Maurer, agent and petitioner. So again, we'll receive a staff report now on Ordinance 9276 from Heather.
Thank you. So very similar, same owner and agent, 11.29 acres. Planning Commission also reviewed this request on April 2nd of this year and had the same recommendation of interim zoning of IE, innovation and employment. This parcel is a bit unique because it is landlocked right to the north of this piece, so it's kind of hard to give you an exact description. You do have a copy of the map in front of you, and, again, they thought IE, innovation and employment, made sense for this property, even though it's currently undeveloped and there's no plans for it.
Okay. Any questions for Heather on this one?
No.
Okay. Again, we would receive any testimony from the petitioner, but petitioner is not here this evening. So now any testimony from the public on this ordinance and these properties? Jody, any correspondence on this one?
No.
Okay. All right, so we're back again to any discussion by the committee members, if Greg or Jeff have thoughts on this one.
No, agree with the recommendation again.
I will agree again.
Okay. Thanks, everyone, for their speedy participation this evening. This concludes the public hearings on ordinance 9274 and 9276.